Mark, set, go. 5, then 10, then 5. Ruger SR-556 Tactical Doodle. Running crap wolf ammo. Five more. That's wolf, right?
Yep.
This is the Ruger SR-556, and you have found the Nutnfancy tabletop review on this fine piston-driven AR-15. And I will tell you dudes, it's taken a lot of work to get ready for this tabletop. That's because I really wanted to do a thorough shooting review, both tactically and bench rested on the gun, so I could bring you some Nutnfancy data points that might be of use in your own shopping phase. I'm not going to say I'm the end-all expert on the Ruger SR-556 or any piston-driven AR-15 for that matter. There are a lot of dudes out there that have a lot more trigger time, rounds down range, and experience with a type than I do, and I think there's already a bunch of great reviews out on this gun. But a lot of people subscribe and come to the Nutnfancy project because they know I am independent. I am not associated with any manufacturer, any ammo dudes, or anything like that. I can say and speak my mind on whatever I want, and I relish that. I love it. That's not to say I don't have a lot of favorites out there. I make, you know, no bones about telling you when I really like something, but I'm not officially associated with these manufacturers. I do not receive kickbacks from them in any way, shape, or form. I would never accept that. And it's fun being able to just be independent. And so a lot of my subscribers have been bugging me and waiting for the tabletop on the SR-556. Here it is. I will tell you right now, it is an excellent piston-driven AR-15, high value, offers a lot for your money. I think if you get it, you will love it. Couple negative things to say, but they're more associated with the type than they are with the SR-556. My guide throughout all of this, as it usually will be my ridiculous talking points, which I type out and I strive to follow as I go down. I can't tell you I'll follow them. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Just depends. And I'll probably forget some stuff as I normally do and have to annotate it later on, which is always a very time-consuming process. Just to upload, annotate, write the sidebar on any of these videos takes me about 18 hours per video. Yeah, I know. Let's get going. POU, philosophy of use. How do I see it? Dudes, I mean, do you have to ask? It is a defensive/offensive carbine, depending on what you got going that day and who you are. If you are a law enforcement officer, probably defensive, because pretty much any way you're going to be using your carbine will be defensive, usually, not always. I mean, if you have to take out a bank robber through the window in a hostage situation, how do you term that? I don't know. For a civilian sheepdog, definitely a defensive carbine. How about, this is something different, a 3-gun competitor? And I think that might be where the SR might shine. And I'll tell you why. 3-gun competitor, or anybody who's going to be entering a lot of shooting matches with the AR-15 might really like the SR-556 because it does run cleaner in the bolt carrier group. I'm going to reference you to another video I did. Let me release this bolt here, sorry. Oh, I forgot. No wonder it stopped popping open. I have taken the bolt out of this one. I was like, what the heck? It's right here. That's why I can show it to you here in a second. But if you're a guy that sends down a lot of rounds downrange, the SR-556 might be a good choice. That's going to minimize, that's because it's going to minimize your cleaning hassles in the bolt carrier group, albeit they are transferred up front here to the piston. I've talked about that in the piston versus DI video, but a good choice for that. So POU, same as you would apply any tactical carbine, AK-47 or whatnot. Any questions on that? Check this out, full-size poster of the Ruger SR-556. So in a big change here at TMP, I'm going to go from the real guns on the table to some product literature because I think it's going to be a quick and efficient way to review the features as I tackle the talking point of innovation and design of the gun. I love this poster. It's cool. If you're an SR-556 owner, you ought to try to get a hold of one of these. Got it up at Impact Guns. Actual size too. Ultra cool. First off, I think Ruger was smart choosing to go with a piston-driven AR-15 to set itself apart from a very populated field of excellent designs. Choosing a piston is the way to go as of 2009. That's not to say that a piston gun, of course, is superior in all facets than a DI gun, but I would say it's fair to say that in a lot of people's minds it is. You know, a lot of prospective AR-15 buyers want a piston gun for all the things they've heard about. You know, I think some of them, if not a lot of them, are overblown, especially for civilian users, which I think, by and large, are going to be very low round counts through the life of the gun. You know, are you ever going to send downrange 10,000 rounds out of your AR-15? How can you afford it? Seriously, I don't care if you're a law enforcement officer or a civilian. If you're buying your own ammo, forget it. There's no way. I think most users will never send downrange more than 2,000 rounds. But I digress. The SR is an excellent design. And one of the things, I'm going to jump ahead in the talking points kind of to accessories here. One of the things they got right and that I really love is they make the SR-556 a complete gun out of the box. They outfit it with a retractable stock. I think that's a CAA brand, 6-position M4 style butt stock, as you see there. Put on it a Hogue mono grip. That's a decent pistol grip, very ergonomic, kind of rubbery for me. I prefer the Magpuls myself, but that is a very serviceable grip, needs no replacement whatsoever. In the package, they include 3 PMag, 30-round black, newest generation PMags. Great job, Ruger. Remember the days, as I've said in several of my videos, when Ruger was very much anti full capacity magazines. That's what I call this. This is not high capacity. High is like 100 rounds. This is a full capacity or normal capacity mag. Great job, Ruger. The days are over when they don't do that. Again, with a semi-automatic firearm like the SR-556, the magazine is an integral part of the system. It's not an accessory, really. It's an integral part of the system. Great job. So those PMag magazines, by the way, rock. I've had absolutely zero problems with them through freezing conditions, hot conditions, dropped in the dirt, stepped on, stomped on. Love those PMags. There's a lot of competitors now that are going for their market, but the PMags remain a great choice. Also, and I'm excited about these, those Troy Industries folding battle sights. Let's check it out on the real gun. I'll come back to the poster in a second. These are them. I think Troy Industries accessories rock. Very high quality. In fact, my favorite BUIS, that's backup iron sights on AR-15, are Troy Industries or PRI, Precision Reflex Incorporated, because they sit very low on the gun. Low profile. They're not spring actuated. They lock in the up position so they don't fold as you go through brush and bang them around. They're very well made. They exhibit outstanding fit and finish. They have nicely sized apertures with that HK style front post that provides a very quick sighting picture. I love Troy Industries. The only bad thing I could say about Troy's, and this is if you buy them yourself, is they're just so freaking expensive. I don't like that, but Ruger somehow got in cahoots with them and they outfit the SRs with them. Great job, Ruger. What a high quality sight they've chosen for the SR-556. And this gets to the overall intelligence in outfitting the gun. The out of box, you have some very top-notch kit on it. That is a huge selling point for the 556 in my mind. And you know me, guys, when I get a gun, if it's just not right, whatever, I want to change things. I want to outfit it and, you know, personalize it just like a lot of users out there. If it costs me a little bit of money to do it, I'll do it. With the SR, it's really not needed, especially for the BUIS. Outstanding sight. outstanding sights in every sense of the word. The specifics on them, by the way, is your elevation will be in 1 MOA increments. It'll adjust just like any AR-15 front post does. I prefer the AR-15 adjustment tool, but you can use a tip of a 5.56 round if you want. And then in the back for windage adjustment, it'll go in 1/3 MOA increments. Looks like you'll use a bullet tip for that for ease. So great job on those sights. Love them. And that will take us to the rail. Also Troy Industries brand, proprietary to their SR-556. In other words, it is built for the receiver of the gun. Great job on this. That's because it's trim and slim and is about as close to the barrel as you can make it without getting ridiculous. I haven't done my AR-15 accessories video yet. Maybe one day I will. But let me say I'm a fan of the trim rail. I don't like them bulky and heavier than they have to be. I think the 10-inch choice might be a little bit long, but I think most users getting back to marketing will prefer it. It looks better. It's more proportional to the gun, perhaps, than, let's say, where was it? This DI gun, the Rock River, wearing a Daniel Defense light rail 7-inch variety. This is my favorite size for a tactical carbine wearing a 16-inch barrel. It provides all the rail space I need and minimizes the weight. I don't need rail going up here to this portion here on this DI gun. That's all I need. I mean, I'm going to wear a VG and a light with this POUF type gun. That's just me. Call me crazy. But you have 10 inches of rail space with the SR, and you know, it looks cool, that's for sure, but it also adds some weight, which we'll talk about. Great job on that rail though. It does come with rail covers, and you can see right now we don't wear them. In fact, I put them on, tested them out. I saw that they rattled, and maybe I didn't put them on right. But more importantly, even if they did not rattle, let me go back to that poster. They increased the grip circumference of the gun, which I, again, don't like. And these are just my preferences, dude. So I'm not saying this is right or wrong. This is just Nutnfancy. I don't like a big, thick, fat foregrip on the AR-15. Don't like it. Instead, I choose to go with rail covers. These are the Ergo brand. There's other brands out there, and they make it very comfortable to grasp and very slim. We're basically keeping that dimension, that ultra important width dimension on the rail, the same. If you want to run a VG on it, go for it. But that is a Troy rail. They have the indexing numbers on there. I never use those. They're supposed to, you know, you take accessories off, you remember where you put them. I don't ever use them. But if you want them, they're there. The barrel of the SR-556 is 16 1/4 inches in length, chrome lined, 41 V45 steel, we're told. I'm not really familiar with that specific steel. However, I am with a cold hammer forging process which they use to make this barrel. Very high quality, definitely the best semi-automatic barrel we've seen come out of Ruger ever. Great job. Finer grain structure, more durable, supposedly more accurate. I'll talk to that in a second here. Love the barrel on the SR, and I love the thickness too. I'm not a super big fan of the M4 profiled barrel, and I don't want to get in a big discussion of this. Where's my light? Underneath the Troy Industries rail, you can see the thickness of the SR-556 is substantial. It's huge. And yet we're told if you still wanted to, you could mount an M203 grenade launcher under it. Outstanding though. I mean, love that thick barrel. It's more rigid, more capable of sustained firing if we should ever need to do it. Not to say that the thinner barrels can't serve, they do, but I kind of like the thicker barrels. There is a weight penalty for that, and also the extended rail, of course, which we'll discuss here. But great job with that. One downside of this rail that I forgot to mention is you cannot take it off. You probably can. You can do anything you want to if you're willing to go through the hassle of learning how to do it. But you can see the proprietary pinning that they have on the rail. See there in the receiver? That's what they use to attach the rail with, and it's going to need a special jig and probably a special tool. I could probably get that out and take that off if I really wanted to. Getting it back on might be a chore. Ruger recommends against it. They say don't go inside the rail and mess around with the transfer rod. It's chrome plated. You don't ever have to mess with it or maintain it, so they say. We'll talk about the gas system in a second. I kind of wish it was easier to take off because if I ever wanted to Duracoat this, there it is again, DC in it, I would like the option of being able to take the rail off. The good news is you don't have to worry about any torque transfer to the rail like you perhaps do with some aftermarket rails on an AR-15, which can actually torque and end up damaging that long the gas tube that goes back to the receiver. Not a problem with the Troy Industries rail. The flash suppressor or flash hider is their proprietary Ruger variety, kind of like we've seen, or actually exactly like we've seen on the Mini 14 GB or the Mini 14 AC-556, actually it's just AC-556. It's okay, I like it. No need to take it off. Again, I prefer the 5C2 flash suppressor like I've discussed and shown in video. And this SR-556, where's that flash suppressor? And a lot of guys are going to say, well, how did you get that off? Well, again, on this particular gun, I decided to mount one with the permission of its owner. Very cool. It's not an easy chore because the AC-556 style of flash suppressor has no flats on it for a wrench. But it's doable. As you can see in photograph, you just vise your barrel, usually using some type of pad, which I did. And then I had a tool that I found worked well, putting in the muzzle of the AC-556 flash suppressor, or SR-556, and just spinning it off. Comes right off. Then you put on a new crush washer and on you go. But like I said, no need to take it off. Everything on the 556 is actually good to go. It might just be a matter of user preference if you want to swap it out. And that'll take us to the gas system. And I got a crank because I want to make this a single part if I possibly can. Like many other piston guns, it is adjustable by the user, and that is the port size of the regulator. And that will dictate how much gas is going back to the piston, which is contained here in the gas block, and then to the transfer rod, which is contained here under the quad rail, back to the receiver and the bolt carrier group, impinging upon that strike face you see right here. And another benefit of that bolt carrier, getting back to design, is that there's no carrier or keyway or screws to mess around. It's an integral machined portion of the bolt carrier. See that? That's very cool. Number 2 is a good setting that you want to have for most ammunition with a 5.56. You can see that's what we have it set on. If you want less gas, go to the number 1 position, and it's easily turned by a bullet tip if you want to. You can see that. That's how we did it. If you want more gas, go to the number 3 position. If you want none, go to 0 position, in which case you would actuate it as a manually operated carbine. In other words, you'd have to extract and strip off the next shell all by yourself. If there's an overgassing situation, it's vented out this hole. And actually, it's vented out that hole regardless. This whole front area of the handguard will get dirty. The piston itself gets very dirty in use as we took it out and cleaned it. About the same dirtiness I noted as the bolt carrier group of a DI gun. It's just up front here, like I talked about in that other video. One other thing we noted, and I'm kind of jumping ahead here, the 3 position, it's probably not a great idea to run that. There's no reason to overgas your gun and the bolt carrier unless you have a really good reason not to. In other words, if it's not functioning. The reason we did try that, after break-in, I'm talking several hundred rounds of brass-cased ammunition, I wanted to try the SR-556 with this Wolf brand ammunition. I know this is a controversial load. A lot of guys absolutely hate it. They say they'll never run steel-cased ammunition in their guns. I disagree with that. It's like a lot less than brass-cased ammo, and if my gun will run it, great. It enables me to train with center-fire ammunition. Works good. Supposedly polymer coated, the Wolf ammo, and the lacquer cased ammo is gone. Supposedly, I say, because I have found that in piston guns, at least 2 varieties, the SR-556, and also, where did he go? The Robinson Arms XCR HB heavy barrel. And this was out in the desert with us too, also undergoing testing. Please don't bug me. You'll see a review on it sometime. This gun and the SR-556 were very spotty in reliability with the Wolf brand ammunition. I think it is the Wolf's fault, mostly. It is notoriously underpowered. It's a very dirty ammunition. Cheap, that's about it. Definitely not a defensive load. But both of these guns, the XCR and the 5.56, had difficulty with it. And to such a degree that both of them, particularly which one? This gun in the background and then this XCR actually had a casing stuck in the chamber that could not extract except with the aid of a cleaning rod. That sucked. And that was with the position, the gas regulator on the SR-556 set on the number 3 position. What I found when I extracted that shell is that the casing was actually ripped by the extractor. So obviously it was stuck in the chamber. My point being is the number 3 position did not help run a lower powered ammunition, at least in the case of Wolf, when the case itself would rip right out. Just be advised. Number 2 position is probably what you're going to run most of your ammunition off. I think there's some discussion of how to determine where your gas system is when it's properly regulated by the throw of the brass casing. And I forget exactly how that goes. We can look it up, but 2 will work for most POUs. By the way, it's a 1 and 9 twist. I really would have liked the SR-556 to be a 1 and 7 twist. Possessing the ability to stabilize the heavier 223 556 bullets. That would have been great. However, for its POU, a tactical carbine all arounder, it's probably going to be fed this type of ammunition. Here's PMC, 55 grain, full metal jacket. I would like the option though, because we don't really give anything up by going to a 1 and 7 twist. Not so much. There you have it. It's an innovative design. In a lot of different ways, like its proprietary rail, the combination of high quality accessories, the materials, I jumped ahead in the talking points, are just superb on the 556. And if I didn't mention, I'll do it now. I love the fact that they coated the bolt carrier group, the transfer rod, the piston, which you will see or have seen in photograph, with a matte chrome finish. It makes cleaning just so much easier. Yeah, you still have to clean it. It does still take work, but it's better than not being chrome plated at all, and it increases the lubricity of those components too. Great job all the way around. Just an excellent job.